Hi, welcome back to the channel. This video will be a review and my thoughts on the Hifiman Ananda Stealth V3. The Ananda Stealth currently retails for around $230. I bought mine from Hifiman's official store on AliExpress. With my coupon codes deducted, you should be able to get the Ananda Stealth at around $200 to $210. Check out the latest pricing and codes in the description below. Let's talk about the history of the Ananda Stealth. The original Hifiman Ananda was first released in 2018. At that time, the suggested retail price for the original Ananda, aka the V1, retailed for $999. And the major selling point of the V1 at that time was that ultra-thin planar diaphragm. As you can see, the V1 pretty much looks the same as the V3 I have here. Towards the end of the product cycles, the V1s retailed for $699, at least according to Google. In 2022, Hifiman dropped the Ananda Stealth, also referred to as the V2 by Hifiman users. The most significant change was that stealth magnets were introduced to the Ananda Stealth, as the name suggests. Basically, stealth magnets have a rounder shape to reduce diffraction when sound passes through it. Hence, it can reduce distortion and negative acoustic impacts it has to the sound. You can check out the diagram on the screen. The side profile of the magnets are actually round. The V2 also has a Neo Super Nano diaphragm. According to Hifiman, it's 80% thinner than the previous models. The new diaphragm is only between 1 to 2 microns thick, resulting in a faster and more detailed response. According to Google, the V2s also retailed for around $699. Last, it's the V3 I have here. The V3 was kind of a silent revision back then in 2023. The only differences are the weight reduction from 440 grams to 398 grams, and the decrease in impedance from 26 ohms to 16 ohms. But right now, the price of the headphones are reduced to around $200-ish. There's not too much to talk about on the unboxing. As with other Hifimans, it comes in a cardboard outer box. Then inside, it's the actual box of the Ananda. The accessories are super simple. Inside this box, there's a simple mini jack cable with a 1/4-inch adapter. Then we have the headphones. The Ananda Stealth comes with the classic foam Hifiman stand, which my R10D did not have for some reason. So that's it for the unboxing. Now let's look at the build quality of the Ananda Stealth. Let's start with the ear cups themselves. First, the ear cups are absolutely huge. The outer part of the ear cups are made from plastic. The silver grills you see here is made from metal alloy. There's a mesh fabric inside the grill to protect the drivers from dust and dirt. The pads are made from pleather on the sides, and the part that touches your face is made from a fabric material. The pads are thinner on the front and thicker on the back, so it fits the shape of your head better. The pads are attached by little plastic clips like other Hifimans. Personally, I don't like this attachment method as it feels like the clips can break off, but it doesn't seem to be an issue for Hifimans as it seems. So these magnets here should be the stealth magnets. The angle of the ear cups can be adjusted like this. But the ear cups do not swivel on the Ananda. The Ananda has a headband that's mostly made out of metal. The top part and the part that connects the ear cups are made from metal. There's a pleather pad for even weight distribution across the top of your head. An issue with this headband is that it's a bit scratchy when you adjust the size. That's why out of the factory, Hifiman will apply a dab of oil on the rails. The paint will also rub off the underside of the rails as you adjust it. It's a known issue with this type of Hifiman headband. The cable it comes with is super basic. It's 1.2 meters long and comes terminated with a mini jack. There's also a 1/4" adapter included. Overall, the build quality is okay. I wouldn't call it good, but everything seems to be sturdy and functional. Now let's talk about the sound quality. This should be the part you all care about most. I have been mostly testing the Ananda Stealth with the balanced aftermarket cable, so I could test it on my iBasso DX340 with the M17 card, which in my opinion is an extremely detailed and revealing source. I've also tested it briefly on the KA17 and the JDS Atom 2 stack. To be honest, I was a bit surprised on the sound signature of the Ananda Stealth when I first heard it. Having not read any sort of graph or review before I tried it, I was expecting a more bright, forward, and super detailed sound with lots of precision and accuracy, probably due to the planar driver nature and the marketing material boasting a super thin diaphragm, which led me thinking detail retrieval would be its key strength. I would describe the sound signature of the Ananda Stealth to be slightly warm and is slightly laid back. It's a set with good musicality and is very good in reproducing micro details. The mid-range of the Ananda Stealth does have a sense of warmth to it. No matter it's female, male vocals or instruments, it does have a slightly warmish feel and has a good sense of body to it. It's not so warm that it feels sluggish, as it is very good at reproducing the micro details in the singer's voice, or even tiny sounds in the background. That said, the transient response is very good, which can be heard in busy tracks, and I can hear in between notes very clearly in stuff like acoustic guitar solos. It is also able to present the air and depth in vocal recordings, thanks to the resolution the drivers are able to produce. The bass on the Ananda is super tight and detailed. It sounds very linear. It definitely isn't bassy by any means. It does have decent impact to it in the kick drums and mid bass. But the part that impresses me most is the sub bass. When I play movie soundtracks and songs with a lot of sub bass in it, it's able to reproduce the deepest notes with a lot of texture and detail. The interesting part is that I actually feel the huge drivers vibrating when the drivers are playing sub-bass notes. It isn't a sensation I get on other headphones. I'm not sure if I'm actually feeling it or hearing it, but it's a pleasant experience. The treble is crisp, detailed, but still relaxed at the same time. The treble is quite tamed in the Ananda. I never found it to be harsh when listening to it. Vocals don't seem to be sibilant on them at all. There's a song in my audio test tracks playlist called Keith Don't Go by Nils Lofgren, where the Ananda reproduced the details in the acoustic guitar and guitar harmonics very well. The treble is detailed but doesn't sound harsh or fatiguing. I think it's well tuned on the Ananda. The Ananda has very good soundstage depth and height. The width is pretty normal, not super wide. I've heard headphones with a much larger soundstage than the Ananda. The Ananda doesn't try to be super wide, but it tries to give you a realistic stage and good imaging. That said, I think imaging is very accurate and precise on the Ananda. They excel in tracks that present good localization, so I think they should work well in gaming as well. Now let's compare it with another Hifiman, the R10D. The R10D was about $230 when I bought it, but I was told it could be bought for around $170 now. So check out the prices in the description. The R10D is a very different sounding headphone, but that's to be expected. The R10D has a dynamic driver instead of a planar driver, and it's a closed back. Comparing the two side by side, it's immediately apparent that the R10D has much more bass, especially in the mid-bass region. The mid-range sounds more distant than the Ananda. Everything seems pulled back a little. The treble is also more aggressive than on the Ananda. The R10D is a V-shaped fun-sounding set. It's definitely not as neutral as the Ananda. The detail retrieval is definitely better on the Ananda. It's just a more resolving set. Soundstage-wise, the R10D actually sounds larger and it's super wide, but it feels slightly exaggerated and the imaging is much better on the Ananda. That said, if I could only have one set of headphones, I would definitely suggest the Ananda Stealth as opposed to the R10D. The R10 is there if you want something a little more unconventional, and neutrality is not much of a concern. Now let's compare the Ananda to another planar set, the T60RP. These are already discontinued, but back then they retailed for $300 to $400. To me, the T60RP is much brighter, unforgiving. I would even describe it as clinical. The treble on the T60 can sound very harsh when you put it on certain tracks, like some rap tracks for example. The bass on the T60 is also much lighter, so there isn't the bottom end to balance out the treble. Soundstage wise, I think the Ananda is slightly larger and imaging capabilities are similar between the two. For me, the T60RP is definitely a studio monitor, and the Ananda Stealth is more of an all-rounder. The T60RP is like a magnifying glass that exaggerates the flaws in a recording, but sometimes it turns out to be too fatiguing for me. For music enjoyment and casual listening, I would definitely pick the Ananda. If you're a gamer or you're going to use the headphones for mastering or monitoring, I would see a reason to get the T60RP instead. No headphone is perfect, and the Ananda Stealth isn't perfect either. Let's talk about the cons. First, comfort isn't great in them. Although I've never had any hot spots or pain wearing the Ananda, I wouldn't consider them comfortable. That's mainly because of the sheer size of the ear cups. They're so big that they're in contact with your jaw when wearing them. These aren't the headphones you'll forget you have on your head. These do clamp quite hard too, so you may want to stretch them out if you have a big head. Second, the Ananda Stealth does require a good headphone amp to shine. Though it isn't difficult to drive loud, it definitely scales well with amps with better control and power. You can get it loud enough through an Apple dongle, but I wouldn't suggest you get these if you don't plan to upgrade to a better amp. In summary, I think the Ananda Stealth V3 is a very good all-rounded headphone. It strikes a good balance between technicality and musicality. It's a sound that I can listen for a long time without feeling fatigued. That's why I think many people will be happy with the Ananda Stealth as their entry into headphones, or even their only headphone. Of course, with the assumption that you're looking for an open back headphone. I have yet to hear another headphone with this kind of sound quality for around $200. I think these are a solid choice if your top priority in a pair of headphones is sound quality. Having used these for a month or so, I don't have any issues with them yet. But as you know, Hifiman isn't particularly known for their build quality. Only time will tell. So this is the end of the review. Please let me know if you have any questions about the Ananda Stealth. I've linked the products featured in the description below. If you enjoyed this review, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.